what was our recommendation?
We recommended that we'll have an additional 2, meaning it's the minimum number needed when having a microboard, so that it means we can actually function with minimum manpower. Now, we don't necessarily foresee this being a problem, but it does mean that in some circumstances, fate may have it that people can no longer attend or be part of the microboard. We'll be able to function on, let's say, minimum staff.
Yes. It doesn't preclude, though, that we can have more than that. Yes. Yeah. So I think we went with 2 there. The next choice we had to make was about how often the committee meets together. So whatever number of meetings you say you will have a year, if you put it in your rules of association, then that is a rule. You have to meet that many times. It doesn't mean that you can't meet more than that, but you have to meet at least that number of times. Jamie, would you like to speak about what we chose?
Okay. We chose 6 because it's half, so that would be 1 meeting every 2 months. But that doesn't mean that we can't have more than that. So if we had to put 9, we would have had to have 9, and it probably wouldn't have worked as well.
The next one we had to fill in was the special general meeting. So if anybody had anything special that really needed to be brought up at a meeting, you could call a special meeting other than our normal meetings. And we chose a minimum number of people who had to make that request before we called a special meeting, and yeah, we just chose the number 3 because it was half of 6. So just to call that special meeting, you have to have at least 3 people to have something to be brought up at a special meeting.
Instances these sort of meetings may need to come together is if there's, say, a bad apple in the orchard, or a bad member of the group, or may just conflicting arguments that we don't necessarily see everyone seeing eye to eye in what is best for Eli. So that in these circumstances, it's needed a minimum amount of people that will all agree for these meetings to be called, just so one person can't go bang and everyone needs to abide to their whim. They really need to kind of maybe have some kind of a small committee meeting that there's a group of people that agree, going, yeah, something's off here. Let's get looking into this and call the group together. So that's why we'd say a minimum of 3 people, just so one person can't disrupt everyone.
Cool. Anybody want to add anything to that? So what's the next one? Oh, look, the next one is a little bit confusing. It's that the wording is not clear. It's about, I think it's about the number of people who constitute a quorum at an annual general meeting. In which case, if it is an annual general meeting, it would need to be the whole committee. It would need to be 6 people. But it's not actually got the word annual there. It's just saying at a general meeting, how many members need to be present in person to constitute a quorum for that. So I just need to check that.
TBA.
Yes. So this is the question about what's the minimum number of people for which a meeting can still run. That's called a quorum. So if we're saying there's 6 members of the committee and we agree to meet, and we would do our darndest to make it at a time and venue that suits everybody, but just given that circumstances change and people can't always turn up, what's the minimum number of people that a meeting would still run with? Would it still run with 2 people, or would we say no, it can't run unless it's got all 6? Or how do we decide that? So, Jamie, would you like to say something like that?
So this is like about how many people at the meeting. So we've decided to go for, I can't remember why.
I think because it was more than half.
Oh yeah, because it was more than half, and it wasn't 6 because most of the time we'll probably find that 6 people won't be able to go there because of like doctor appointments or something like that. So we put 4 down so that if we have like a meeting, the meeting that it's called, we need 4 people, which actually goes good because the 4 main people would probably be the people that would go. So I only just worked that out.
And anything that's having to be put to a vote, or it could be decided by that 4th person.
Less likely for there to be conflict if there is a majority of people at the meeting.
Cool. So that's our recommendations about the rules of association. Again, I can email those as an attachment to people, so if you've got any queries or anything what we've said is not clear, check it out in the section. We've mostly referred to a section number in this document or a page number, so hopefully you can find it, but if there's any queries, call somebody. On the application form for incorporation, we need to list the members. We need to list 6 members of the microboard. Yes, they need to be over 18. And they need to fit that bill of having a personal relationship with the person at their centre with Eli. So it doesn't mean that we can't have more than 6. We can have more than 6, but on this application form we need to list 6. So at this stage we have Peter, Luke, Shane, Joe, Stuart, and then there are 3 others who Leah and I are going to follow up: Nick Beams, Anita and Anne Livingston. So if any of you people are watching this and you want to just confirm that you're happy for your name to go on that list, that would be really good.